All right, I wanted to make this video to address a comment I see here and there, both from left and right, which is rather disturbing. This is that Colorado Springs is red. Colorado Springs is red. And usually the evidence given is the fact that we have Focus on the Family and the New Life Church. Those are not correlations. You can't use that as the backing. You have to look at some more information. Colorado Springs is in fact not red, and I'm going to show you why in some numbers. But Colorado Springs is not red. We do have a problem that makes it be that way, and I'll explain why. So I'm going to show you guys some numbers. These come from the Colorado Springs government website, and I'll go over those in a minute. All right, I'm going to cover myself real quick. This is the return ballot statistic map from the voter turnout for the June 17th special election issue. Pause to read. And it is talking about for that Cayman line stuff that we overwhelmingly did not want. So to show you some numbers here, there are 335,366 100 voters within Colorado Springs. Of everybody that voted, 82,729 ballots were returned. Now, that number looks larger than the number of people that voted, or in total of, and the reason for that being the discrepancy there is because some people did correct their ballot information and got to resubmit. But this is an excellent point, and I'll keep bringing this up. You need to be verifying your voter information. Please go and verify that. It's not just for local stuff. If you didn't vote for Trump and your vote didn't get counted because your ballot had incorrect information, that's going to be a problem. So this is the first portion here. Ballots were returned. I know those weren't all people who are red. So please check your voter registration at the Colorado Springs site. You can do it there, or there's voter registration links you can get to do that. Make sure your voter registration is up to date. If you've moved addresses, that can invalidate your ballot. If you have, changed any personal information that may affect that, it can change that. So check that out. So here's some more information on the municipal election results. This is going to give us further details as to why we're not red, and I'll explain why. One, you can see how many votes we had there for it, how many against, and the total number is 18,219. Remember I said that other number seemed fairly large. That tells me that there would have been more votes, but a lot of those ballots got returned. So the 82,000 should have been larger and was not. And if you look at the voter turnout, it's 24% of our population, 24.5% of the population of Colorado Springs. So those of you that could be voting either didn't update registration, or something else happened in there. But that's low turnout. It's good numbers, relatively speaking, for around the country, but those numbers should be up, you guys. They should be higher up. Based on the ratio of people that went to the No Kings protest compared to those who didn't, that number should be a lot higher. So use this as your wake-up call to be checking your voter registration information, because something is off someplace. Lastly, I have a source for this at the bottom. I'll block myself out real quick here. This is for the general municipal mail-in ballot election. This was for city council. This is there's a 2-page PDF on this page. It comes from the source below. Let's look at the numbers at the top there. Total number of precincts, 227. Total active registered electors, 332,001. It's 100% counted. Total ballots counted, 78,000. 78,253. Where is everybody? I would like to see at least half of the population of Colorado Springs vote, because I know at least half the population is blue. So we're not even purple. It's just a lot of people not voting. How do I know it's not a lot of people voting? In my comments on videos I did about the ICE detention centers, there were a number of people going, oh, I didn't vote, but I didn't know it would lead to this. Vote. Make sure your information's up to date and vote, because that's what lets us get the city council we are. When you look at the city council being red, county commissioners being red, all these different offices being red, the only answer is voter turnout is low. And if you're not in Colorado Springs and you're seeing this, and you live in Colorado and you're concerned about the election for governor coming up, now's the time to be checking your voter registration information. You can update your voter registration information through the state site at any point. You can verify and update. There was a big push during the presidential election for people to do this, and I don't think it still had a good enough effect, but now is the time for you to update your voter information. Not in midterms, not do it now, because as you can see, it's affecting all of these in-between races, even school board stuff. You guys vote on that. Make sure your voter registration is up to date, because if it's not, your vote will not be counted. Your ballot may be returned, maybe it doesn't get back until too late. So do your voter registration checks now. Do it now. And just to add this in here so I can get you guys a source for ideas, go to vote.gov. It'll let you select your state territory, and then you can update your information from there. It'll direct you to the correct page you need to go to for your state. So this information for the vote.gov is valid in any state in the United States, where you can update your information. Please do that. Please do that. because based on numbers I'm seeing, Colorado Springs is not red. It's apathy from voters is what it looks like, or not getting your information updated, which in my opinion is still apathy. If you're not making sure your voting information is updated, I don't know what to tell you. That's bad. I mean, if you knew that you were entitled to $1 million and all you had to do is make sure your address was updated, you'd make sure your address was updated. But for some reason, when it comes to, making sure your voter registration is updated so your vote counts, people just lose the plot on that. I don't get it. And for those of you that are younger and you don't vote, you need to vote. This is a good example of where you need to vote. There is a possibility that bad things are going to happen to us locally, and things nationally already have, because a lot of people did not vote in the last election. We know that clear as day. A lot of people did not vote. And yes, I know there was gerrymandering. I know there's now questions being asked about, were the votes incorrect in certain voting machines? Yes, but that's isolated to a few states at this point. It doesn't change the fact that Colorado could have came out differently, better in multiple things, in multiple elections, for local all the way up to federal, that just have not. So, and looking at the numbers that I see, it's not that we're red. It's just that while there's plenty of people who are vocal about not wanting a king as a president, those people are good to show up to the protest, but then voting seems to fall off. So please check that. And then with Colorado, I know they do send out whether your vote was counted or not. If you're signed up for the notification, they will send you an email and a text message telling you, hey, your vote was counted. Anyway, guys, I hope this helps. If you have any questions or comments about the voting process and stuff, please let me know below. And again, please make sure your voter registration is up to date. It is very important. If you're not understanding that now, please look at these numbers to understand that. That is such a low turnout. 23.5% for city council of people who I know have an opinion about city council one way or the other. I don't care what color you align with. You need to vote.